As I look out over the city, I think to myself, they all look like ants. Hey everybody, welcome back to more Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel 2. I'm SlayerMathis, and last time we started our exploration around Ruhr, and this time we're going to continue doing that exact same thing. Sharon, what's up?
You deserve nothing but the highest praise for the way you fought yesterday, Masterine. Were not for your assistance, I doubt I would have been able to rescue the chairman, much less liberate Ruhr. You have my most heartfelt thanks. You said like we would have been able to do either of them without you. It was a team effort through and through. Besides, I'm the last person who deserves any praise. If I'd just been a little stronger, you would still be here. As much as I would like to, I'm afraid I have no right to attempt to comfort you. Not after having done the things I have. Sharon? Some might see your willingness to mourn the death of an enemy as a weakness, and understandably so, but I see it as just the opposite. I see it as a strength that you and your classmates possess. I'm sorry I won't insult you by telling you it's wrong to feel the way you do. I'm positive that you'll find a way to come to terms with those feelings on your own, though I'm here for you if you need me. Thank you, Sharon.
Yeah, Sharon's a very mysterious character who's definitely done some weird shit in her life.
Last night I received an invitation to stay here. There's still some time until I have to leave, so I think I'll spend some quality time curled up with these books instead. Sharon's coffee can't be beaten either. In fact, pulling away from here might prove to be a real struggle. Or if I stick around a little longer? Not at all. Might if you don't get many chances to spend time together like this, so let's make the most of it.
I could never say no to some of Sharon's coffee, and in fact, I should make another pot for them. With that, he imprinted himself and made some time perusing the countless books gathered in the library. I realized a nice aroma to it.
Doesn't it? Such panic enjoying a cup of Sharon's coffee engrossed in a book. I think I found the very definition of bliss.
I can see where you're coming from. It never ceases to amaze me how many books there are in here, and the variety of topics and genres represented. I guess Gwynar's had a pretty broad range of interests though, so it makes sense that his library would be as diverse.
Indeed, that one makes it more difficult to decide which volume to read next, although I must admit, I was a little disappointed to find one particular genre represented here.
Oh? Which one?
The titillating tales of loved by fair ladies all across the Empire. Stories about the lives and loves of handsome gentlemen. Books that warm the hearts of all who thrill to their prose.
Oh, those books. I remember you saying those were pretty popular in Australia too, right? There just was lacking in that genre until Dorothy came and seeded it with some volumes from her own collection. So, does Elise, have any interest in those kinds of books?
It's so much more magical to leave the truth of things to your imagination. We're talking about the realm created by and for humans, after all. That's where gentlemen should tread lightly.
Fair enough, I'm curious about that curious. Corrupting influence though?
That'd be great. If that's truly what you wish, I suppose I ought to respect your wishes, but teasing her is my most cherished pet. I prefer to keep at it.
I didn't realize their shows are mainly just for entertainment. Still, teasing her not, I'm glad Elise has at least one close friend she can depend on.
Oh, and speaking of entertaining pastimes, I actually learned a delightful little card game called Blade from Sharon yesterday. Perhaps we could play a few rounds together.
That's fun. I accept your challenge. We got the cards and began what seemed like it would be a few quick, friendly games of Blade as the player things unexpectedly ended up getting fairly heated. Each of them determined to come out on top while holding nothing back. In the end, the time they spent playing together was as enjoyable as the time they had spent reading.
This really is quite an amusing little game. It's nice that even an inexperienced player like me doesn't start too great of a disadvantage.
Yeah, the updated version has a lot more strategy to it too. But I have a lot of fond memories of this version of the game. I almost can't help but like it. In fact, Fro was the one who gave me my very first deck of Blade cards.
Oh, really? I was sad to see the two of you fighting each other, especially after all you've been through. What is it that forced the two of you to fight like this?
Well, ultimately I think it's a battle of wills. Both of us are just too stubborn to just give up and walk away.
What do you mean?
He told himself about everything that happened between him and Crow as he went up dredging on those memories. It seemed like a lifetime long. He went through a whole spectrum of emotions, yet through it all, she had quietly and considerately listened until he had finished telling her all that there was to tell. The thing was a high-stakes game of Blade, Crow on one side, me on the other. Neither of us are willing to compromise on the things that make us who we are, our beliefs, our pasts, our friends. And without compromise, all that's left to us is to meet each other, head on, and see who comes out on top. I hope that while we're doing that, we'll discover where life will lead us, and what we'll do with ourselves after this is over.
I see. Boys will be boys, I suppose. But hearing you describe it, I almost envy Crow's position. Why's that?
I just meant Elise would probably think that if she were here now. And Evie and Crow, I mean. After all, it's almost like fate's pushing you and Crow together. It fills my imagination with thoughts. Just works with wise guys aren't too hot about being paired up with their male friends when they don't lean that way. Well, like it or not, I consider myself fully invested in this battle of little battle of wills now. So I intend to stay with you and see how it all pans out. You're more than welcome to come along for the ride, Your Highness, wherever it may take us. I'll be sure to watch over that fateful clash between you and Crow when the time comes, especially since it sure leads to some juicy developments for us ladies. Alphen. What are we gonna do with you? You weirdo. Alphen really is just a weirdo. But you know what? It's fun. I can't believe I let the perfect opportunity slip from my fingers. I'm such a coward. You say something? No, I'm just thinking aloud. I still have some stuff I need to organize, so mind me leaving alone for a bit? Sure, no problem. Again, while Elise is not my favorite character in this game, I think I like the pairing between her and Rean the most. Second is Toa, but I think it's just... This is one of the game-pushed pairings that I actually like. Which, I mean, there's definitely some that I do. But then you have things like Makoto and Joker in Persona 5, which I'm not a big fan of. Makoto's a good character, but she just takes up too much time in the store. Yeah, I've made my complaints about Makoto now on plenty. Eustace we will not be talking to. He decides that he wants to go shopping, and we join in. He buys a crap ton of equipment for his sword, because, well, basically being overprepared is better than being underprepared. Rean, like always, is carrying the bags, and Eustace wants Rean to pretend that Eustace is Toa, so that he doesn't complain, because all the work that Rean does with the student council doesn't really complain when it's Toa. And Rean doesn't like the mental image, but I think it's hilarious, so there's that. And Eustace honestly just wants to keep Rean busy so he doesn't have to think about V. And he reads some propaganda about how the Noble Alliance is doing really good, and he's commending the Alliance for thinking not just on how to win the war right now, but how to keep Erebonia stable afterwards. And Rean says, I mean, while that's a good thing, we need to focus on the now so that we don't get ahead of ourselves, and the future will, quote, fall in place. Our shelves open again, yeah! It's time to get back to making orbital lamps and orbital stoves and orbital fridges and orbital wares and orbital everything. Oh, it's so good to have work. I mean, what's an engineer without a job? Very important line of dialogue from Zinc.
Who would have expected Her Highness Princess Alphen would grace our humble province with her presence? I heard she was under the Alliance's control of Heimdall, but old rumors about her at this point. What matters is that she's out of the capital and free now. She's the hope of every single Erebonian.
Aren't you one of the third students? Thank you so much for all you've done. You're gonna say it's Pride Month. With all the factories they modified to produce weapons, we still got some restoring to do, but that's for us to worry about, and we'll be happy to. Thank you again for bringing the city to life. I'm so happy to be able to see your sister again. Sounds like they plan on working on the crates together too. I suppose I'll need to work extra hard now that she's gone.
No, lots of people.
A young fellow from one of the Marquis Rogner decided to proclaim neutrality. Not that he has, though. I know he'll stand by it. He's a man of his word, if nothing else. But yet, if he does, the provincial army will fall in line too. You can finally rest easy.
I haven't seen you since what, your last field study here? Good to see you again. It's me like you've all grown a lot since then. Ours is a clear touch, well. You can leave the cleanup here to us. We'll do what we can to ensure the orders maintain.
You've all done a remarkable job. Thanks to you, we were finally able to make our return to Ruhr. We'll be leaving a number of officers at the station. Hopefully that will help to stabilize things in this province. There's no telling what the future may hold.
I'm on my way back to the mansion. Try as I might to bring Lady Annabelle home, she's not having any of it. I'm so shocked by how much she's changed since last saw her. She was never so selfish before. I don't know, I'm going to avoid telling her father about all of this.
You have some stuff with Annabelle. It's very interesting. Emma has another bonding event that we will not be viewing. For hers, Reen gives Emma a tour of Ruhr. She was not part of our field study there. Lady, do you mind? And they talk about stuff like escalators and orbital generators. And while Ruhr is very technological, soon it could be the norm in about a decade or so. And Emma states that technology that is beyond the comprehension of the observer is indistinguishable from magic. If weird tech is, and then to TLDR, or summarize that first thing, exact quote. She says, if weird tech is embraced that we don't understand, why is magic critical? And she kind of has a bit of an existential crisis over her purpose in life as a witch, and why witches exist, which is to do things in the background. And Reen is like, hey, you're not just a witch, you're also part of Class 7. And Reen ends it off, not ends it off, there's a few lines after this, but he basically ends it off by saying nobody gets to pick how they're born, but everyone deserves to choose how they want to live their life. So basically, Emma, you don't have to be just a witch, you're also part of Class 7. Milliam has a bond event that we will see. I guess the Eisengraf's pretty much stuck in Ruhr Station for the time being. No, better stuck than under the Alliance control, right? Now think about it, everyone got what I left in there a while ago. Maybe we should grab it before it starts running again. Tag along. It'd be kind of cool to take a look around inside too. And if I join you, Milliam, we didn't exactly get to look around last time we were in there. To be honest, I kind of like to. I'm not stopping you. It would be, let's roll! I spoke to the RMP officers guarding the station, and were granted permission to step aboard the Eisengraf. Once inside, they went straight to the front carriage, and Milliam found what she was looking for on the engine room's dashboard. Such a cute bear. Oh, it's a stuffed bear. Pretty big one, too. He's awesome, isn't he? Gramps brought him for me a while back as a reward for completing a mission. He did. I have a hard time imagining Chancellor Osborne buying something something so cute as a present. Yeah, I guess he didn't seem like the type, huh? He probably bought it for me on a whim. I wasn't trying to suggest he was a cold-hearted person or anything. Hey, while we're here, you want to go do some exploring? I bet the chairs in here are way softer than any stuff you've ever tried. Sure, why not? Still, we're putting the RMP out, remember? We can't spend too long here. Man, you weren't kidding. These really are comfy. It was a gift from the Emperor, though. It's no wonder it would be so ritzy. I know, right? I'm jealous of how much he got used to it, too. He got to live it up on his way over to the conference in Crossbell. Yeah, Prince Oliver and Katoa were on board for that trip, too. What's up? Nothing. I was just thinking about how this train's lost its master. The same way you, Captain Claire, and the other Ironbloods have. Oh, that's true. Guess he can't really live it up anymore if he's dead, huh? Nothing we can do about it, though. Code outsmarted him, and that's that. Still, can't believe he actually managed to kill him. I was expecting to be talked about him so impartially. I mean, if you're upset about it, there's no need to force yourself not to let it show, you know. Why would it be? When Dad was shot by that Jaeger, I was beside myself with worry and anger, and the Chancellor was like a father to all of you, wasn't he? So, I'm just saying, there's no need to force yourself to seem happy. If you need a shoulder to cry on, sorry, I really don't know what you mean. What do you even like to cry, anyways? What do you mean, what's it like to cry? Surely you've done it before, everyone has. That's because I seriously don't know. Wait, you're serious? You've never cried, not once? I guess not. I felt moved when reading books and felt kind of lonely when someone wasn't there anymore, but being so upset about something that tears come to your eyes just seems kind of alien to me. How? She's never cried? Never? She's younger than the rest of us, but by her age, most people have done it more times than they can count. What are you all quiet for? You're still down about the stuff with V. Cheer up, okay? It's no fun if you're all gloomy like this. No, it's okay. We're just having a hard time processing what you were saying. I just want you to remember one thing. To all of us in Class 7, you're both a classmate and a friend. If anything were ever to happen to you, all of us would be incredibly upset. Enough to cry a lot. Just remember that. Okay? I don't know what you're trying to say, but I'll keep that in mind. I really like all you guys, too. And come on. Without reckless you are, I'm gonna run into trouble you're gonna run into trouble way before I do. Fair point. I'll be careful. This is actually... Oh, wow. After finish off the two left, yes, we have stuffed bear in hand. This is actually, like, an incredibly depressing one for me, because, like, that just seems so sad. Like, never knowing how to cry. Milliam doesn't seem to understand what it means to be sad, and says she has never once cried. That's just so weird and foreign to me. Also, Alphen, boys are beautiful. She appeared to be quite knowledgeable on a certain genre that's popular over at St. Australia Girls' School. Thanks, Yowie fangirls. I'll have to bring you aboard the Kratos with us later. I still don't want to have the stuff you said meant, though. Well, whatever. I'll probably figure it out someday. William's also a weirdo. It'd be a while before we're back to producing anything. They basically use our factory as a storage cupboard. Before we can do anything, we need to clean and inspect every last piece of equipment. On the side, we're still a few hundred times better off than we were a few days ago.
Where's got to have protection get back here again? We all ate Lady Angelica too. Yes.
I can't believe it was actually right. So that plastic coat now is a major new contract for us. Returns are hugely favorable for them. He rewards a businessman to be reckoned with. Alright, so that's my business here for the time being. Operations are made, data lines have been signed. I just gotta get in contact with our capital office. It's not that busy. Let's invite him here on the crate just can wait until after maintenance is done. The factories that turn out consumer products are at least starting to get back up and running again. You know, I ended up signing a contract that stipulating that 10% of the goods we receive go to Kleist & Co. I'm impressed a young man like Hugo Kleist was able to predict that this would happen. Laura also has a Bond event that we will not be viewing, I think. Right? Oh no, we will be viewing it. Really? Let me just double check. Yeah, no, we will be viewing it. Okay. Good, because I love this one. It's my first time seeing Ruhr. I must have been very impressed. My expectations were high given the Rhineford Company's presence here, but I can safely say they've been shattered. I think this single shop alone has more types of orbital goods than the entirety of Legram. I feel kind of like a child in a candy store, to be honest. There's so much I want to look at while I'm here. What if we look around together? Nothing like shelves full of stuff to take mind off things. By all means, see what this place has to offer. Oh, so this is an orbital refrigerator. I noticed there's a large one in the courageous kitchen, but I wasn't entirely sure what it was at the time. Now they mention it, we do have one on board, don't we? Being able to just stick food in there and have it stay fresh for days is pretty awesome. So it is. I wouldn't mind having one for myself when I want to prepare a boxed lunch. Just one cost. Maybe I'll consider one when my skill in cooking improves enough to justify the expenditure. Let's go look at something else. Right. She actually seems disappointed she can't get one. What's this? The design is rather avant-garde. It says here that it's called an orbital vacuum cleaner. You press the button on it and it sucks up dust and crumbs. It's like the orbital version of a broom, I guess? It just sounds pretty convenient. Let's give it a try. Let's see. I don't think you're supposed to just turn on the appliances in the store like that. Sorry, I guess curiosity got the better of me. Let's just turn it off then. The button press to do that? Why is it vibrating even louder, more forcefully? Excuse me, miss! I certainly seem none too pleased with us. I'm sorry, Rean. Don't worry about it. It's not often you see you get into trouble like that. This technology is a new forte, huh? Apparently not. We have an interest in it, but very little experience actually using it. I think I'd be able to use all the appliances here if I had the chance to learn them, just like I did with our combat ornaments. By the way, what are these? They're normal washing machines by the look of it. Put your clothes in there, and it'll wash them for you. At least I had a few in our house from what I remember. Well, that sure sounds convenient. Fascinating. I wonder how it works. Let me see. Not again. My apologies. So which button turns it off? This one? No, this one. Nice that we haven't done what I think you've done. I'm afraid it appears I've broken it. Excuse me, miss. This spacing of that's one of my favorite lines in the entire game. Fortunately for Laura, the damage was much less severe than it looked, and they were able to repair the orbital washing machine. You know, the employee was understandably furious, but thanks to their connections with Lisa, he was kind enough to overlook what happened. I can't believe we made such a blunder not once, but twice. But at least they were able to fix it, right? Well, that ends well, I guess. So, it really does feel like you were, born into the way of the sword. I need to make my lack of domestic skills sound like some kind of winning quality. I'm all too aware of the areas where I come up short. I took cooking in an effort to become more refined, but I wasn't planning to admit that here. So I'm glad I got to see got the chance to see a side of you no one else really has gotten to see. Hey, no one's got everything. We've got our weak spots. Well, that's true, but you and I aren't so different in that regard, you know? All of us have roles we're good at fulfilling, and for those we aren't, we need to learn to rely on others. We promise you won't try and shoulder everything yourself. All of us here are with you to share the burden. Yeah, you're right. Thanks, Laura. And up to level 4, we get Cover and Powerful Strike. And Laura gets a note update. Weakness. She isn't very used to working with machines and has a habit of pressing the wrong buttons and breaking things. Classic. that is a pretty good place to end it off. We'll talk to you, and then end things off. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid this factory's closed for the time being. The Rainford Group is currently reorganizing for what happened. So for now, this factory is out of service until further notice.
What is also...
What is also out of service, for the time being, until further notice, is this episode. Does that make sense? No. But too bad, I'm using that segue anyways. So, next time, I believe we'll definitely be finishing off our exploration of Ruhr. But until then, see you guys later.